Hello, I'm Brent Farris from the Beardman Studios, and I wanted to show you my networking package. It does work cross-platform, everything that supports sockets, and that does include Windows Phone 8 and Windows Store 8.1 for both of those. So what we're going to do is set up a really quick scene, get it networked, and be on our way. This is not really a tutorial, it's more of a show-off. I'll make tutorials later, so I'm going to create a quad, 0, 0, 0, put 90 degrees, and 25, 25. Throw in a cube at 0, 1, 0, and then throw in a directional light just so we can see it with shadows because it's awesome. Alright, from here, let's import the package into the assets. Okay, cool. Alright, so first I'm going to go over here to the prefabs that came in and drop in a network manager. You can write your own network manager. That's for people who are advanced, but this is a really simple one that does a bunch of cool Unity integration stuff. So we're just going to leave it there. Then I'm going to select the cube, and the cube I want it to go across the network. I can write a custom class that goes across the network and all that stuff if I was advanced, but this is simple, so I'm going to use the most simplest of things. So I'm going to add a component to this cube. I'm going to add networked mono behavior, and that is automatically going to serialize the position and rotation across the network. If you wanted to do your own custom serialization of position rotation, as if you wanted to do other things with it, you're going to uncheck those and write serialization patterns of your own. The network throttle, this is how fast it goes across the network. At 0, it goes as fast as possible. This is time-based, so if I put 0.05 in there, it's going to be going across the network 20 times per second. And I'd like to point out that the system only sends things across the network that have changed. So if you do not change the position, it won't send any messages across the network, saving tons of bandwidth. So I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to turn on interpolation so that it automatically interpolates across the network the variables. Any floating point variables will automatically serialize across the network and be interpolated, which means, if you don't know what that means, it means it makes it smooth. If you've ever dealt with Unity's built-in networking and you tried to move stuff around, it's really janky because it's not updated as fast as possible. It's throttled itself internally, and you can't change that. And you want to do interpolation to make it seem smooth. So I'm going to do enable interpolation. Alright, this object is ready to go across the network. So basically all I did, drop the script on, enable interpolation, change the throttle, and I was done. So I'm going to save this scene out as game. Okay, and now I'm going to go to my build settings, and I'm going to go and drop in this menu scene that I made and the game scene. Now the menu scene is super simple. I'll go over it just because I don't want to make it look like, smoke and mirrors. So there's one script in the menu scene called start game, and it's responsible for starting up a server and hosting a client. And there's a debug in there, weird. Alright, so you see on start server, all we do is networking.host, our port number, the type of protocol we want it to be. We're doing UDP, and 31 is going to be how many connections we can have to this server. So since this is like a client hosted, as if I was a gamer, I'm hosting and I'm playing as a server, I'm going to put 31 because it's going to make 32 in total. The start client is going to do networking.connect. The IP address is just going to be my loopback address in this case. The port number is the same and the same protocol type. And then I just say go and start the application. So this is all we need to connect to a server. This is all we need to host a server. So one line for each of those. So you go back here. I'm just going to build this out with the menu and the game. So build and run as game.exe. Right. So make sure it's windowed. I'm going to make it small. Put it on my display 1. Play it. Okay. Now I'm going to go over here to Unity. I'm going to press play on that. And I'm going to snap it over here to the left hand side so I can see both. Alright, that menu needs, I need to update that. Okay. I'm going to make the Unity editor the server, and over here I'm going to make this the client. So over here on the server, since this is the server owned object because it was in the scene at start, if I move it around, you'll see that it gets moved around on the client as well. And you can see that it's moving around. Other than the jankiness of the video recording, it's fairly smooth. It tries to interpolate those points and the rotation as well. So that's it, working across the network with interpolation and everything else. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to make some actual tutorials later that explain all the advanced stuff and all the basic stuff and everything else. So let me know if you have any questions or suggestions. Again, this networking system works across all supported platforms of sockets. It's Windows Phone 8, Windows Store 8.1 on both of those, iOS, Android, PC, Mac, Linux, web player. So yeah, I'm hoping to get this out real soon. Until then, I'll see you later.